What makes the Certified Internal Auditor designation stands out among other audit-related certifications?
It is the only organization specializing in the internal audit across the globe.
What are the typical eligibility requirements and skills needed to start the CIA journey?
Internal audit profession is that they have to be a graduates.
How does the CIA certification align with global standards?
Very excellent question. So,
Hey everyone, welcome back to Simandhar Education, India's top leading institution for US CPA, US CMA and other global certifications. This episode is all about one such powerful credential, the Certified Internal Auditor or CIA. Whether you're a student or a finance professional or just curious about the world of internal auditing, this one's for you. We are going to dive deep into eligibility, salary expectation, job opportunities and career growth for CIAs. And to help us do that, we have a very special guest joining us today. Please welcome Mr. Mukundan K V, the CEO of Institute of Internal Auditors India.
my name is Mukundan. I am the CEO for the Institute of Internal Auditors India. I am a chartered accountant. I am a certified internal auditor. I am a certified public accountant. I am also a certified information system auditor. 1985 I qualified, almost 4 decades of experience. Started my career as an internal auditor and rose to the level of a chief risk officer and chief internal auditor of a global company. I superannuated in July 23 and I took over the position as the CEO for the Institute of Internal Auditors. Institute of Internal Auditors is established in 1941 in the United States, and it is spearheading the internal audit profession, the certification in the area of internal auditing, and other certifications like IAP, which stands for the Internal Audit Practitioners. Simandhar is one of our approved learning partners for the Certified Internal Auditor courses, and it is a course which gives a lot of opportunities those who have taken up their career in internal audit, and as well as the fresh graduates, those who have an aspiration to become an internal auditor.
What makes the Certified Internal Auditor designation stands out among other audit-related certifications?
The Institute of Internal Auditors is established in 1941 in the United States, and it is the only organization specializing in the internal audit across the globe. Whereas many organizations, for example, I am also a chartered accountant. I am also a certified public accountant. So all these organizations' qualifications are not specialization in the internal audit. So that way, only one organization which promotes internal audit, that is the Internal Audit Institute of Internal Auditors. They are the only organizations which promulgate standards on the internal audit. They ensure that there is necessary guidance are given to the students for that particular area. They also conduct certifications in this area. So that way, while there are many accounting organizations across the globe, only in the internal audit area, there is only one organization, that is the Institute of Internal Auditors.
Okay, that's great. So my second question is, what are the typical eligibility requirements and skills needed to start the CIA journey?
Again, a very relevant question. There are two streams of people, those who come for the internal auditors. One category is the working professionals. They are already in the internal audit area, so they may have general internal audit qualifications or the experience, or they may be coming from chartered accountancy background or a similar accounting qualifications. There is also a category of the people, those who come from graduates. So a minimum criteria for entering into the internal audit profession is that they have to be a graduates. And if you are not a graduate, there is also another route which they can pick up through the internal audit practitioner examinations. So an undergraduates can go through an internal audit practitioner examinations from May 28, 2025 onwards. The IAP, which is the internal audit practitioner examinations, is equivalent to the part 1 of the CAA examinations. And then they have to appear only for the remaining 2 papers. So in the nutshell, both categories, the working professionals, those who do not have a specialized qualifications in the internal audit area, as well as the graduates, can also become a certified internal auditor.
How does the CIA certification align with global standards and practices in internal auditing?
Very excellent question. So in 1978, first time in the internal audit space, the global internal audit standards was released. There was no internal audit standards prior to that. This was promulgated by the Institute of Internal Auditors, and subsequently every time this was revamped. The recent internal audit standards was approved by the Global Council on 9th January 2024 and effective from 9th January 2025 with a option for early adoptions. So that way the global internal audit standards are promulgated by the Institute of Internal Auditors, and certified internal auditors predominantly, so paper 1 of the certified internal auditors cover mostly of the internal audit standards. So that way it gives a lot of foundation for the internal audit profession.
Okay, that was very insightful for our audience. So coming to the fourth question is is there any prior audit experience mandatory, or can any student or fresh graduates also pursue the CIA path?
Excellent question. There are two aspects to it. One is the examination, other one is certifications. So examination, there is no requirement for you to get experience for that. At the same time, certification needs an experience. For a graduates, it needs 2 years of experience. For postgraduates, it needs at least minimum 1 year experience. So coming back to the specific question, you can acquire the relevant experience after the examination, that is passing of the examination, or if you have already a relevant experience in that space, you can complete the examination and get the certification immediately. So most of the graduates, they can always undergo the examination route first. They can join an organization as more like at the initial level, and then they can acquire the experience. And then they can go for the certification as well.
So how do you see the future of internal audit and risk management evolving over the 5 to 10 years?
Institute of Internal Auditors has published a document on the Vision 2035 of the internal audit profession, how it will look in the year 2035. So governance of an organization is the core where the contribution of the internal audit comes into the picture. Organizations, the size of the organizations increases year after year. So about 4 decades ago, when I started my internal audit career, it is very, very different. Today's governance aspects are very, very different. There has been technological advancements. There have been revamping of the standards. Business enterprises their methodologies have changed. There has been revolutionary changes happening. The internal audit profession also grow along with all these changes, and we ensure that internal auditor is capable of delivering the stakeholders' requirements on day-to-day basis.
I have a question about AI. With automation and AI growing rapidly, what are the new skills be crucial for auditors and risk professionals to stay relevant?
Again, thank you for this question as well. It is very relevant that any topic today doesn't start without an AI. The Institute of Internal Auditors, their global knowledge base, so there is something called Knowledge Center. Now, this Knowledge Center has multiple sections relating to that. One of the sections covers about the artificial intelligence and its applications in the internal audit. So AI has 2 aspects from the internal audit point of view. One is that how do they implement the AI solutions in the audit methodologies, relevant skills. The second one is that their internal clients for business operations, sales, manufacturing, wherever the AI is implemented, how the internal auditors upgrade their skills and ensure that they are able to audit such new technologies implemented within the organizations. So this is equally applicable. You are in a service organization or a manufacturing organization, or you are a non-profit organization, depending upon the size and the level of implementation.
So my next question is about the salary. How does holding a CIA designation impact one's salary, potential and career growth?
Salary is an outcome of the deliverables what you do. Once you have the skill set and necessary exposure and experience, salary will come automatically. So I have started as an internal auditor at a X amount of salary, and I grew every time I upgraded my skills, my exposure and experience, and the salary also went up accordingly. There were market inflation, but skill and deliverables are definitely one of the requirements to get the salary. Now, certified internal auditor is one of the skills which starting as the initial internal audit level, and the knowledge base it gives you. I just talked to you about the artificial intelligence. The moment it has come in the market, Internal Audit Institute has already taken it up, and they've created a knowledge space in that particular area. We have podcast tools and newsletters, discussions, webinars happening on all such topics. So CIA certification ensure that you upgrade your skills, and automatically every employer should give you a decent hike in your salaries as proportion to your skill set what you deliver.
Okay, thank you. In your opinion, how important is it for aspiring professionals or to invest in the certifications like the CIA early in their careers?
Let me tell you from my experience. At the age of 23 or so, I became a chartered accountant. And for the 16 or 17 years, I did not upgrade my qualifications in the different areas. And I regret today that at the age of 40 or so, I started upgrading. Between the age of 40 and 50, I have got 3 more certifications. It should have been done much earlier than what I did it. And it is mandatory, let me put it this way. Mandatory means it is essential if you want to grow up the ladder in an organization. If you want to take over a higher level of responsibilities of any large organizations, it is mandatory that you get for these certifications. For example, prior to this role, I was a global chief audit executive and a global risk officer for a large multinational enterprise, which has about 180 plus countries operations. They would not even call me for the interview unless I had the relevant qualifications. These qualifications and the relevant experience and exposure has stood along with me to ensure that I am able to deliver the expectations of all the stakeholders. Managing a large organization in internal audit department is not an easy thing. So this is a certifications which will definitely help you to ensure that you hold a position of responsibility and recognition, and you meet the requirements of all the stakeholders.
What's your advice to someone who's maybe stuck in a BPO or data entry role and wants to move into something more meaningful with the growth potential?
So there are many such professionals, particularly after graduations, they get into their data entry role, or it becomes a monotonous role. What they need to understand is that many of these roles will become irrelevant as the technology like AI gets implemented. So it is necessary that they upskill from these areas. And even when they do a data entry role, if they understand what exactly they are doing, it is just not an automation of the mechanical entry of the numbers, what they do it, punch in. They have to understand what is the meaning of the numbers, what they punch in, or a data entry, whatever the roles. And then they start understanding the business processes. And once they understand the business processes, they can always become a certified internal auditor, because it is all about multiple things, about knowing business processes, understanding the internal audit methodologies, tools, techniques, global internal audit standards, and become a certified internal auditor. And also ensure that you need to have a relevant curiosity, you need to have energy to appear for the examinations. Just don't assume that, yes, I became a graduate, I don't have to study anymore. That will not work. So this will definitely ensure that you grow in your career, you will be able to take more and more responsibilities. That will definitely help you to make a good career.
And those who are dreaming of working abroad, how does the CIA help with international job? Is it actually recognized in the places like Dubai, Singapore, and the US?
What you need to understand is that the Institute of Internal Audit is a global organization. And the certifications, whatever we issue, that is a Certified Internal Auditor, Internal Audit Practitioners, all these things are globally recognized. If you go to Singapore, Dubai, Australia, Canada, North America, Europe, Latin America, or any part of the world, if you are a Certified Internal Auditor, you are recognized as a good internal auditor. There are enough opportunities are available. India is a place where there is a lot of talent and they can acquire these degrees or certifications in the relevant area. And definitely these countries are where there is definitely a lot of dearth of talent. And you should be able to make such dreams abroad as well, because this is something globally recognized.
This has been super informative and honestly very encouraging for the students. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful podcast and you were a very good host. And thank you, the Simandhar, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
And to all of you listening, hope this podcast is insightful for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel at Simandhar Education.